My beloved child, listen deeply, because this moment is unlike any other moment in your life before. There are nights that pass quietly, like silent shadows slipping by, but there are also nights that I mark, that I seal, that I lift up as a meeting point between the ordinary and the holy, where your destiny is adjusted, where what once flowed on quietly is suddenly drawn into a completely new orbit. Tonight is one of those nights, not because you see anything unusual on the outside, but because in the deepest part of your spirit, there is a gentle trembling like the whisper of wind brushing the olive branches at dawn, signaling that heaven is moving behind the scenes for your sake. I have watched your journey through stressful days, wrestling months, and seasons where all you could do was hold on to hope like someone clinging to the last fragile strand of rope. I have not skipped a single moment. When you tried to hide the trembling in your eyes so others wouldn't notice, I saw it. When you leaned your forehead into your hand in the late night and wondered if tomorrow would be any different from today, I heard you. When you walked into the morning wearing a borrowed smile to cover the scratches in your soul, I knew every one of those scratches. You have gone through months where each decision, though it looked small, felt as heavy as a boulder. Bills to pay, responsibilities to shoulder, needs that could not be postponed, all piling up like waves trying to pull you under. There were nights you stayed awake, not because some catastrophe had just happened, but because the silence of your life itself scared you, the silence of opportunities that had not yet come, the silence of promises not yet fulfilled, the silence of doors that remained closed. I saw you asking, am I going to have to live like this forever? And my child, I want to say this to you clearly. No, I will not leave you in the land of lack forever. I will not let you live your days in a state of always pushing, yet always trembling, always hoping, yet always fearing. I did not create you to live counting every coin in hidden shame, nor to survive on the crumbs of random luck. I have felt every heavy sigh of yours, every time you quietly told yourself, I'll be okay. I know you don't want anyone to see your exhaustion, but I know exactly how tired you are. Tonight, I do not come to give you a cheap miracle, nor to hand you an illusion in place of real hope. I come to rebuild your heart, to clear away the burdens that have made you collapse, to open the path I have long prepared but have waited for the right time to reveal. You thought things were delayed because you had not done well enough, because you were not capable enough, not worthy enough. But my child, some delays are not rejection. They are fences of protection so that nothing out of season falls into your life and ruins what I am building in you. I have allowed certain doors to close not because you were unworthy, but because I was guarding you from rushed steps that would plunge you into deeper traps. You thought you had misstepped. In truth, I was pulling you back from the edge. You thought you had gone the wrong way. In truth, I was bending the horizon to fit the wings I gave you. You thought you were being left behind. In truth, I was positioning you in the exact place you need to stand when the appointed time opens. Tonight I come, not with accusation, but with mercy and with an assurance that only a father can give. I do not come to interrogate you about your past choices, your stumblings, your moments of panic and doubt. I come to gather all of those into my hands and turn them into a firm foundation for a new phase. Know this, I do not only touch your spiritual life, I also care about your practical life, the bills that must be paid, the responsibilities you carry, the worries you don't share with anyone. I do not treat those things as secondary. My love does not have tears. I do not love your soul and forget your body and your needs. I am the one who multiplied loaves and fish, who brought water out of the rock, who filled the jar of oil of a widow who had no hope left. I do not change. The only difference is that you have never truly realized how great my love for you is. Some people think I only show up in sanctuaries, in hymns, in solemn hours of prayer. But I am also standing beside you when you open your wallet and find nothing there. When you stand awkwardly at the checkout counter, when you receive a message that causes your heart to sink, I am not afraid to step into the places you are ashamed to name. I can touch the parts of you you are most embarrassed of. I can step into the weakest corners of your life without making you afraid. Because I am Father, and a father never stands far away when his child is trembling. My child, tonight I do not come only to tell you that you will get through this. I come to lay a new foundation in your soul. Certain things have been holding you back: the fear of failure, the obsession with not being enough, the memories of years of rejection, the voices of those who belittled you, the anxiety of bills with no clear way out, the self-blame for choices you felt forced to make. These things have etched deep grooves into your mind, forming a pattern that makes you always see yourself as small, always preparing for the worst, always ready to receive lack as if it were natural. Tonight, I came to break that pattern, not through temporary excitement, but through transformation at the deepest level of your identity. You are not someone destined to live in hiding, in scarcity, in fear. You are one who is called to stand firm, to walk in peace, to take each step knowing that heaven is making a way ahead of you. I want you to know I did not create you for barely enough. I created you to be supplied according to heaven's way. That does not always mean instant wealth, but it always means you will never be abandoned. My provision does not depend on markets, is not limited by economies, is not constrained by status or circumstance. My provision is guided by love, by my wisdom, and by the timing I have written over your destiny. Tonight, that timing begins to unfold. When you hear these words, do not think you are here by accident. There is nothing random with me. I called you into this moment. I invited you into a new process where I realign your thinking, reopen the right doors, close down the wrong paths, and set you on the road I prepared for you from the beginning. This is not a season of fear. This is a season of rising. This is not a season of lack. This is a season where you will learn to walk in a kind of peace you have never known before. This is not a season of silence. This is a season where I speak directly to your spirit. Tonight is the night I begin to make all things new within you. My beloved child, as I continue to speak to you on this marked night, I want you to understand that most of the battles you have faced have not taken place outside, but quietly within your mind, where beliefs are formed that shape how you respond to life. All these years, you have grown accustomed to seeing yourself through the lens of lack, and that lens has blurred your perception of me. At times you have thought I was present when things were going well and absent when trouble came, but in truth, it is in the moments that seemed most silent that I was working the most powerfully on your behalf. If you could see how many times I intervened to keep your head from sinking below the waters, if you could see the turns I blocked so you would not rush into the abyss, you would understand why there were things you prayed for that I did not allow to happen. You thought you were being denied. In truth, you were being protected. You thought you were forgotten. In truth, your name was being written on the announcement board of heaven. I do not operate on the timeline of earth. I operate by a wisdom that is beyond all human limits. And you, my child, are stepping into the very realm that Micah 7:7 spoke of. But as for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. There were days you thought everything was falling apart, but it was in those very days that I was laying the foundation for your future. What you saw as loss has become the soil in which I planted values that silver and gold could never purchase: perseverance when no one is cheering you on, faithfulness when no one knows you are trying, humility when you are forced to face your own weakness. None of that is random. It has created a depth within you that you will need for the new season, where blessing will not only help you survive, but will overflow so that you become a carrier of life for others. You have wondered why I allowed you to go through such repeated cycles of strain, but my child, not one tear you have shed has been wasted. Every time you were exhausted yet still tried to pray, every time you had nothing left yet still chose to trust, every time you were wounded yet still chose what is right, these I have gathered and used to shape the person you are today. Nothing is wasted in my hands. But to step into what is coming, I must remove from your life a foundation that has been there too long, the foundation of fear. Fear makes you withdraw when I am calling you forward. Fear makes you cling desperately to what little you have because you think there will never be another chance. Fear makes you see every bill as an enemy instead of seeing the opportunities I am preparing to open. Fear convinces you that lack is your destiny, that what you have endured is the final limit of your life. Yet, my child, destiny is not written by fear. It is written by the hand of the one who spoke and the earth came to be, who commanded and the sea parted. Remember, I never draw you into a battle without giving you the strength to win. And before you see blessing flow in visible ways, I am releasing blessing within your thoughts, so you will know that no risk is greater than the protection I have placed over you. You have lived in a state of constant vigilance, as if a single small mistake could cause your whole life to collapse. You are afraid to relax, afraid to hope, afraid to believe that something truly good could actually come to you. I do not blame you. I know your circumstances taught you to be on guard. But tonight, I want to teach you something new. Self-defense may help you survive, but trust is what helps you live. For many years now, you have only been surviving. Now is the time for you to live. Now is the time for you to step out of the pattern of always expecting the worst. Now is the time to lift your head and know that heaven is moving for you, not against you. Now is the time for me to redefine what safety means. Safety is not the absence of trials. Safety is knowing that wherever you go, I go with you, and nothing can steal from you what I have ordained. I am not only looking at the difficulties you carry, I am also looking at the parts of you that you have never dared to share with anyone, the feelings you've hidden in the deepest drawers of your heart, the disappointments you never mention, the burdens you compress in silence so no one has to worry about you. I have seen it all. I have heard the questions stuck in your throat. Am I enough? Do I deserve anything good? Did I do something wrong to make my life such a mess? And tonight, I want you to know that I have never once looked at you as a failure. You are not defined by unpaid bills. You are not defined by cruel words people hurled at you. You are not defined by seasons of shortage or crisis. I see you by the light I placed in you at creation, and that light does not go out because of a few long storms. When I prepare to bring you to a new level, I always start from within. I will not usher you into great blessing while your heart is still chained by small fears. I will not bring you into a place of plenty while your thinking is still bound by the experience of lack. I will not lead you into a wide-open future with a soul still trembling because of the past. Thus, tonight I am removing the layers of fear you have worn like armor. That armor once helped you survive, but it cannot accompany you into the journey ahead. You no longer need armor of your own making. Now you need the armor of my peace, the wisdom I pour out, and the deep awareness that you belong to me, not to the lies of your circumstances. What I am doing for you is not just momentary support. I am rebuilding you from the roots. I am reconstructing your thinking, renewing your mind, enlarging your heart, making you ready to carry things you once believed you did not deserve. You asked me to change the world around you, but I chose first to change you inside, because I know a lasting journey must begin with a steady soul. You asked me for an opportunity, but I brought preparation, so that when the opportunity comes, you will not miss it. You asked me to open doors, but I am opening you so that when the doors swing wide, you can step through them without trembling. Beloved child, tonight is the night I return to you what you once lost courage. The courage to believe that tomorrow does not have to be a copy of yesterday. The courage to believe that I can rewrite the whole story even when the pages seem already smudged. The courage to believe that you are not bound by your family background, by your ancestral history, by past failures, or by decisions that were incomplete. The courage to believe that your destiny is not confined to the narrow frame of what you have seen so far. These things do not come from fleeting emotion, they come from revelation. And tonight, I am illuminating your spirit so you may know that the heartbeat of heaven is leaning in your favor, even though you cannot see it. In the unseen world around you, I have already sent my angels to adjust what should have fallen apart. I have touched doors that looked permanently closed. I have reset the position of things that were delayed. I have changed the very face of seasons that seemed barren. As you read these words, these movements are no longer in the future tense. They are happening now. Heaven has opened. You are not standing in an ordinary night. You are standing at the meeting point between old and new. And at this intersection, I do not merely want you to survive. I want you to step in. I want you to believe. I want you to know that my hand is rebuilding your path with a precision you could never create on your own. My beloved, since you have opened your heart to receive what I spoke in the previous parts, now I want to lead you into a depth you have never walked in before, the depth of transfer, the holy shift, where you do not merely hear about change, but truly sense it being formed right within your inner being. In the spiritual life, there are moments that are like breathing, so subtle that you hardly realize you have received something new. But there are also moments like the thunder on Mount Horeb, where I once called Moses into a completely different life, a life he had no idea he was destined for from his youth. Tonight, my child, is just such a moment in your life. I do not come to stir up temporary inspiration. I come to change the atmosphere over you, to change the foundation, to change your position, to change the way you see yourself. Remember, before I led Israel through the Red Sea, I did not first tell them that the waters would part. I simply told them to move forward. When their feet touched the edge of the sea, everything still looked uncertain. When they looked back, the Egyptian army was still advancing. When they looked ahead, all they could see were surging waves. But then I sent an east wind that blew all night long, opening a path through the depths. This is what I want you to understand. Many times, miracles do not happen in the way people expect, not by one sudden, dramatic touch, but by a quiet, persistent wind you cannot see with your eyes, yet powerful enough to carve a road where no road existed. Tonight, that wind is blowing around your life. You may not see the ground split open, but I am parting the waters. You may not hear the sound of waves stopping, but I am commanding the sea to make room. You may not see the walls around you crumble, but I am writing with my own finger into your destiny. You will no longer be confined to this narrow shore. For many years you have walked with small, cautious steps, always afraid that if you went too far, you would step outside your safe zone. Past failures have made you view the future through a magnifying glass. only daring to move a little at a time instead of striding forward like one who knows they are backed by heaven. There were moments when you wanted to break through, but your hands shook. Moments when you wanted to be strong, yet your heart tightened at the memory of old wounds. Do you know this? My child, it is not that you lack strength of character, it is that no one ever taught you that true peace does not lie behind fear, but beyond surrender. When you dare to say to me, Lord, I do not understand everything, but I agree to follow you. In that very moment, not when circumstances change, that is when heaven begins to open. You think I only want you to endure? No. I want you to mature. You think I send storms into your days merely to test you? No. I allow them to build your wings. Those wings have been pressed down for seasons, nearly broken at times. Moments when it felt like you could never spread them again, yet in those very places, I have added new strength, laid in deeper steadiness, so that you might carry more, soar higher, and receive greater things in the coming season. My child, your wings were not created to scrape the ground, they were made to ride the wind. And tonight I am calling that wind to come. Inside you, there has long been an invisible boundary, the line between what you know I can do and what you truly believe I will do for you. It is easy for you to believe in blessing when it happens to others. But when you look at your own life, it feels too extravagant, too far out of reach. I want you to understand blessing is not the privilege of a chosen few. It is the fruit of my love poured out on all who belong to me. I do not give favor out of bias. I give according to my love and the purpose I have written over each person. And for that purpose, you are never written in faint ink. You are not the last name on the list. You are not seen later than others. Not a single season of your life has been overlooked. If anything has come slowly, it is because I have been building deeper within you, so that when blessing arrives, it will not merely land on your life and fly away, but take root, multiply, and become a shelter where others can find rest. Tonight I want to tell you something I have kept in the quiet for many years. You no longer have to fight to prove your worthiness. You do not need to chase after standards I never placed upon your shoulders. I do not love you because you do enough. I love you because you are me. And because you are me, I will not let your life become a monument to failure. I created you to reflect my nature, and my nature is not failure, not instability, not lack. My nature is fullness, faithfulness, steadfastness, and complete provision beyond human calculation. When you grasp this, you will see that the abundance I prepare for you is not an empty luxury. It is a trust placed into the hands of someone who will use it for what is right. You have long thought of yourself as small. You have seen yourself as one standing at the margins, always touching only the edges of opportunity, never able to step fully in. But I want to show you what I see: a strong soul, a resilient heart, a person I have refined through fire and water so that now nothing can utterly destroy you. You think you are too sensitive, yet it is that sensitivity which helps you perceive what others overlook. You think you have been broken too many times, yet it is that brokenness that has kept your heart soft enough for me to reshape without it turning to stone. You think you have been too exhausted, yet it is that very exhaustion that has taught you to lean on me instead of relying solely on your own strength. None of these things have made you weak. They have made you deep. Heaven does not grant depth cheaply. I have used year after year, month after month, tear after tear to form it in you, my beloved child. And now, as the depth within you has been formed, I can finally place into your hands the things I could not give you before. It is not because I was withholding anything, but because I knew that if blessings came too early, they would become a burden. That light would turn into pressure, and that opportunity would become a sweet trap that leads the soul astray. I love you far too much to allow you to harm yourself with gifts you were not yet ready to carry. That is why I held the blessing until your heart became steady, your mind became clear, and your hands became strong enough to hold without trembling. My child, that moment has come. Tonight, I want you to cross that invisible boundary. I want you to dare to believe that what I am preparing is not a distant dream, but a path that has already been written. You do not step into the future by guessing. You step in by following my leading. You do not walk by your own strength. You walk in my assurance. This assurance does not promise that you will never face trials, but it promises that trials will never define you. It does not promise that you will never encounter opposition, but it promises that opposition will never stop you. It does not promise that the road will always be smooth, but it promises that you will never walk it alone. Walk as one who understands that heaven has opened. Walk as one who knows they are carried. Walk as one who knows that every step has already been prepared. Walk as one who no longer belongs to the land of fear, but to the land of light, trust, and a future divinely ordained. Tonight, I am not merely calling you out of fear. I am calling you into your assignment. Not an assignment of burden, but of glory. Not an assignment of pressure, but of peace. Not an assignment of blind striving, but of clear guidance. And as you step into that assignment, you will realize that everything you have been through was never punishment. It was preparation. It was never rejection. It was positioning. It was never an ending. It was an exit into something new. It was never a closed door. It was heaven opening above you. This is the message I want engraved upon your heart. You are ready. Not because you have never been afraid, but because you did not let fear stop you from seeking me. Not because you have done everything perfectly, but because you have never given up. Not because you are stronger than others, but because you have allowed me to be strong on your behalf. My beloved child, step forward. Heaven has tilted in your favor. My beloved, as you enter this part, I want you to feel the shift spreading like dawn after a long night. The words I spoke before were not temporary comfort, nor emotional encouragement. They were commands from eternity, declarations from the one who governs all seasons, the pathway leading you into a completely new stage. If in the previous part I rebuilt the foundation inside you, now I begin to construct your path, a path no longer bound by the things that once held you back. A path I designed long before you understood trial or fear. You do not know that in the unseen realm, I have arranged what no one else has noticed. I have moved pieces of your life in silence, shaping a structure you will only recognize when it begins to blossom. I know there were seasons when you saw your life like a cracked field where every hope evaporated under the heat of reality. You thought your attempts to sow seeds were useless, that the soil was too barren to hold any dream. But my child, I want you to know that the soil was never dead. The season simply had not come. It was not that you lacked skill or lacked favor. The time had not opened. I do not allow seeds to sprout in cold winds or under frost. I wait for the sun of my timing to fall at the perfect angle, for the ground of your life to be tilled by humility and maturity. And then I open the heavens for rain. And now the rain begins to fall. I am not merely opening a favorable season. I am opening new land. Land you have never entered. Land where old limits no longer apply. Land where the boundaries you once drew around yourself are erased by my gentle touch. You once believed your destiny could only fit within a small frame. But I tell you, my blessings do not remain confined to what you have known. I am expanding your wingspan. stretching your vision, allowing you to see horizons you never dared to look toward before. Do not think I am preparing only a small change. No, my child, I am not the God of timid steps. I am the one who turned water into the finest wine at the wedding feast. I am the one whose voice made the shores tremble. I am the one who set galaxies in their courses. When I move, I do not move by drops. I move by waterfalls. And for your life, I am preparing to release that waterfall. But before you step into the stream of blessing, I need you to look back at your journey with different eyes. You thought you were abandoned when doors closed, but I closed them because they did not belong to you. You thought you were being held back while others moved forward, but I kept your pace aligned with my rhythm, not the drumbeat of the world. If you had followed their pace, you would have missed what I intended for your hands. You were never behind. You were being trained not to walk into the wrong place. I want you to understand that entering the promised land is not entering a place of safety, but entering the place of rightness, the place I prepared, the place I guard, the place where every element aligns with the purpose I wrote into your life. You wished for me to resolve immediate needs, but I have been looking at your life through the lens of generations. My blessings are not meant only to carry you through today. They are designed so that you will become a source of blessing for those who come after you. I did not create you to live like one who avoids every wind. I created you like a cedar that stands firm through storms, rising tall because its roots drink deeply from the waters I provide. You have carried invisible imprints no one else has seen, feelings of inadequacy, of being slow, of having missed something important. These feelings have clung to you like a long shadow, but this is the moment I separate you from that shadow. You no longer have to live under echoes of the past. What has been does not define what will come. The voices that once made you doubt yourself, I am silencing them now. You are not the one on the sidelines. You are not the one who only watches without touching. You are not the one who only hears blessings fall on others. You are the one I am leading to the center. You are the one I call by name. You are the one I stand beside in this very moment, with power strong enough to shake foundations that once seemed immovable. My beloved child, remember what I said to Joshua when he stood before the land that my people had been promised for generations. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. I did not say those words because he was weak, but because he was about to step into something far greater than he had ever imagined. And, my child, those same words I am speaking to you today, not because you lack strength, but because you are about to step into something beyond your natural ability, something that can only be held when you walk in the courage that comes from me. When I lead you into the promised land, you cannot carry old mindsets with you. The fears that once held you in the shadows cannot accompany you into this new light. The shame that once made you lower your head cannot follow you into the place where I place a new crown. The new land requires you to enter with a renewed mind, a renewal that does not come from your own effort, but from my presence being breathed into you moment by moment. You once thought you had to manage every step by yourself, but I tell you now, from the moment you step into the land I have ordained for you, every step you take carries the seal of heavenly assurance. You do not walk alone, you walk escorted. You walk with my word. You walk with what I have prepared beforehand. I level the uneven roads. I open doors that seemed forever shut. I soften the hearts of those who once resisted you. I place opportunities within reach. I do things unseen by others, but you will see the results. Your stepping into blessing will not make you proud, it will make you grateful. Your entering new territory will not make you complacent, it will anchor you deeper in your source. You will not fear losing. because you will know that blessing is not maintained by your strength but by my hand. You will not fear lack, because you will know my flow never runs dry. You will not fear being forgotten, because you will know I am the one who neither sleeps nor neglects the task of keeping you. And now I ask you, are you ready to step away from what is familiar? Are you ready to believe that I can do something in your life that has never happened before? Are you ready to place your feet upon ground you once believed you were unqualified for? This is the moment you answer, not by words, but by stepping, not by speeches, but by a small action born from great faith. When you step, heaven will open. When you obey, I will move. When you trust, what once felt distant will draw near. For the promised land is no longer ahead of you, it is opening beneath your feet. Beloved child, before you step into the place of fullness, I must clear the obstacles your natural eyes cannot see. For some hindrances do not come from your surroundings, but from hidden cords within your heart, and unless they are removed, they will stop you right at the threshold of blessing. I will not allow that to happen. Tonight, I am doing what you yourself could never do with your own hands. I am clearing the path. There are hindrances you thought were merely unfortunate coincidences, a careless word that pierced your heart, a door closing at the exact moment you hoped it would open, an opportunity arriving later than expected, a person you trusted turning away when you needed support. You viewed these moments through natural sight and assumed they were misfortune. But, my child, in the unseen realm, these small events were echoes of a spiritual battle you never noticed. You only felt tired. But I knew the forces trying to hinder you. You only saw slowness. But I saw nets of darkness trying to entangle your feet. You only saw silence. But I saw where blessing needed to fall, where doors needed to be shut, and where cleansing was required. Therefore, before blessings pour down like early rain, I am sweeping away everything that was meant to make you stumble. There are things I must lift out of your life, not because you are unworthy, but because they do not align with where you are going. There are people I must remove from your circle, not because they are evil, but because they are not assigned to your next chapter. There are habits I must uproot from your mind, not because I want to change who you are, but because you need to travel lightly. I will not allow distracting voices to interfere while you are learning to recognize my voice. I will not allow others' doubts to touch the seeds I am planting in you. I will not allow careless words to pull you backward when you are meant to move forward. I know you tried to hold on to relationships I had already said enough to. I know you held on to things long past their expiration because you did not want to lose them. I know you kept trying to please everyone, even when it drained your soul to the core. But now is the time to learn a lesson every mature believer must learn. Not everything necessary for your past is meant for your future. A closed fist cannot receive what is new if it is still clutching what is old. A heart cannot overflow with peace if it is still storing quiet sorrow. A mind cannot be free if it continues to rehearse the words that once diminished you. Therefore, I am clearing, not by your strength, but by my power. I am removing false expectations placed on your shoulders, the pressure to be stronger than you are, to handle everything alone, to appear fine even when you are breaking inside. I am dismantling the careless words that made you believe you were not smart enough, not quick enough, not worthy enough. Those words never came from me. And tonight I revoke their authority over your spirit. You will not enter the new land carrying the accusations of the old. I am also removing from you the fear of failure. That fear once made you hesitate when opportunities approached. It made you shrink back when you were meant to reach out. It made you doubt when you were meant to trust. It made you choose safety even when you knew that safety was only temporary shelter, not your true home. It makes you see yourself as less than what I see. But know this, my child, the fear of failure is one of the enemy's most subtle chains. It does not shout, it whispers. It does not threaten, it confuses. But tonight, I say, enough. I am cutting that fear from the marrow of your being. You will step without trembling. You will decide without being haunted by the past. You will act as one who understands that heaven is lifting you, not letting you fall. Along with that, I am removing the habit of measuring yourself by what you lack. For years, you have viewed yourself through the lens of not enough, not doing enough, not achieving enough. And that lens has distorted the truth of who you are. But in the land I have prepared, those who enter do not enter based on what they possess, but based on the one to whom they belong. I did not choose you because you were abundant. I chose you to make you abundant. I did not call you because you were strong. I called you to give you strength. I do not look at your capability. I look at where I am taking you. And in that place, old thoughts have no place. My child, I am also sweeping from your path those people who once blurred your light. I am not here to speak ill of anyone, but you know well there are people who are not truly glad when you are blessed. You have tried to be carefree, but your soul can sense their energy. Their eyes are not truly warm. Their words of congratulations are not truly sincere. Their smiles are not wide enough to hide their discomfort when you begin to take new steps forward. I do not condemn them, but I will not allow anyone's jealousy to touch what I have placed inside you. I am the Lord your God who knows how to protect your blessing from every gaze that does not belong to the light. That is why I am separating you from connections that seem harmless but have the power to bend the direction of your life. In this cleansing, I am also doing the most important work of all. I am giving you back your purity of vision. Purity in the way you see yourself. Purity in the way you see me. Purity in the way you see the future. Layers of dust from the years have clouded your sight, making it hard for you to distinguish what is my voice and what is the voice of fear. What is the voice of truth and what is the echo of old memories. Tonight I am breathing my wind through your heart, sweeping away each layer of dust, so that when I speak, you hear clearly. When I lead, you recognize it. When I open a door, you step through without wavering. And when I cleanse, it is not to make your life empty. I cleanse so that I have room to place new things. Where you once worried, I place peace. Where you once felt confused, I place clarity. Where you once lived guarded, I place courage. Where you once lacked confidence, I place steadiness. Where you once carried deep wounds, I place a healing so profound that you are no longer afraid to brush against old memories. Where you once carried the haunting fear of lack, I place an understanding that I am the one who will never let you lack anything necessary for your journey. You will sense your soul becoming lighter, not because every burden has disappeared, but because I am lifting that burden with you. You will sense a new clarity in your thoughts, not because every question is answered at once, but because you will know what was never yours to worry about. You will see doors that once felt cold and closed now seem warm and welcoming, not because the world has changed, but because your lens has changed. When the mind is healed, your eyes will recognize the door that I am opening. This cleansing is not the end. It is the first sign of a beginning. You will come to see that true blessing is not only what I add to your life, but also what I remove so that you can rise higher. Tonight, I am not only clearing the road beneath your feet, I am clearing the way into your heart so that heaven's blessing may find a dwelling place there. beloved child. Now that I have opened the way and cleared away all the invisible obstacles that were hindering your steps, I want to lead you into a new reality, a reality that does not operate by the rules of the world, but by my very breath. I am not only bringing you out of the dark, I am bringing you into a place where light overflows. I am not only pulling you out of the barren land of fear, I am leading you into a fertile land where peace spreads like a field of ripened grain. And what I want you to understand in this part is this: my abundance is not the result of a race, but the fruit of abiding in me. For many years, you have been accustomed to unceasing effort. You have run a race against time, against the weight of responsibility, against the fear of being left behind. You have tried to prove that you are worthy, that you are strong, that you can overcome. But my child, I see your exhaustion even when you think you have hidden it well. There are mornings when you wake up with a soul already drained from the day before. There are nights when you lie down with thoughts tangled like a ball of thread with no visible end. You think you need to be stronger, but what you truly need is to lean on me. For in my kingdom, strength does not flow from running faster, but from knowing how to rest in my heart. You used to think that abundance meant no more lack, but I want to broaden that definition within you. My abundance is not only that you have what you need, but that your soul becomes so settled that you are no longer shaken by what causes others to panic. My abundance is not just full storehouses, it is a mind full of clarity, a heart full of wisdom, a path full of direction, not only having resources, but having the discernment to use them in the right place, not only having opportunities, but having the ability to distinguish which doors are from me and which only look like blessings on the surface while actually leading to deeper exhaustion. I am leading you into a land where you no longer live, driven by reaction, but guided by awareness. You will no longer wait for fires to break out before asking me to put them out. You will learn to hear my voice before the spark even catches. You will no longer be overwhelmed by financial shifts, because I am digging within you a peace that cannot be swayed by numbers. You will no longer chase after sudden events, because I am placing within you a spiritual alertness that lets you sense what is coming near. I want you to understand that abundance is not just an outward condition. It is a spiritual ecosystem I am building inside you. In that place, your thoughts are no longer distorted by fear. Your words are no longer steered by pressure, and your heart is no longer torn apart by confusion. You will become like a strong wall, someone others look at and see my presence reflected through your eyes. You will no longer be easily toppled when life sways, because you have learned to stand on what cannot be shaken. The abundance I give is not for you to build a tower to your own name. It is given so that you may become a stream for those who thirst nearby. Some around you are living in the confusion you once walked through. Some are drowning in the fear you know so well. Some are searching for answers, and you will become part of my answer to them. I do not bless you so you can hoard. I bless you so you can be free to pour out. Every overflow I place in your hands carries a gentle invitation. Let me use you. When you learn to place what I give back into the flow of my love, you will see blessings increase without ceasing. For blessing is not meant to stagnate like a closed pond. It is meant to flow like a river. You have long seen provision from a narrow perspective. Do I have enough or not? But I am leading you into a new perspective. Am I pouring what is me through you or not? When that question changes, your life will change. When you understand that you are a channel, not a container, you will no longer fear when I usher you into a new season. You will no longer fear lack, because you know you are connected to a source that never runs dry. You will no longer fear loss, because you know I am both the giver and the keeper. You will no longer fear change, because you know every change bears the mark of my hand. I also want you to know that abundance does not always begin with plenty. Sometimes abundance begins in the place of emptiness. Like when I called Abraham to leave his homeland and go to the land I would show him, he did not depart with treasures in hand, but with faith in his heart. Like when I sent Elijah to the widow at Zarephath, she had only a handful of flour and a little oil. Yet in that very lack I brought forth a supply that never ran out. Like when I told the disciples, "You give them something to eat," they had only 5 loaves and 2 fish. Yet in my hands the little became a feast for thousands. Abundance does not begin with quantity. Abundance begins with surrender. You have looked at the little you have and thought there was nothing there for me to work with. But I do not wait for you to have much before I do much. I bring forth much from the little you place in my hands. As long as you open your heart and offer what you have, I will do what you cannot imagine. The transition you are about to enter does not come from some great thing you perform, but from the peace I am sowing into each small decision, each step you take, each choice you face. I am digging within you a well of living water. This well does not dry up because of circumstances, is not shaken by fear, and is not broken by upheaval. It does not depend on what others do or fail to do. It does not diminish when you walk through trials. It does not leak on the days that feel difficult. This well flows because I command it to flow. It is deep because I have carved it deep. It is enduring because I stand guard over it. As you learn to walk in that fullness, you will notice something different. You will no longer need to shout to be heard. Your peace will speak on its own. You will no longer need to fight for recognition. The clarity I place upon you will testify for itself. You will no longer need to pretend to be strong. The steadiness in your soul will draw people toward you. Fullness does not make you loud, it makes you deep. It does not make you proud, it makes you humble. It does not make you spotlighted, it makes you a resting place for the weary. This is what I want you to understand most clearly in this passage. My fullness is wholeness in every dimension. When I grant wholeness, I heal the wounds untouched even by material blessings. I mend the areas of your soul that have been abandoned for too long. I lift your head from the dust of the years. I restore the fatigue that has been accumulating. I wipe away the bitter laughter of those who once dismissed you. I place within your heart a new trust, not the trust born from excitement, but from the deep recognition that I am faithful. And now, I invite you to step into that reality, not through rushing, but through steady steps, not through pressure, but through the breath of peace, not through striving for control, but through opening your heart to my guidance. My fullness is drawing close, and you are ready to receive it. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about something far greater than provision, far greater than the miracles visible to the human eye. It is the transformation of your inner being, the work I am quietly performing within you, even in moments you have not yet perceived. You have seen my hand in outward turning points, but now I desire to open your eyes to what is deeper, the place where I am weaving a change that no one will be able to undo. This is not merely a time of giving, this is a time of transforming. Many things in your life have not happened to make you suffer, but to reveal the parts of you that have not yet been healed. The ruins of previous seasons are not evidence of my distance, but signs that I am working deeper in your heart, dismantling old foundations so that I may rebuild new ones capable of carrying the blessings I have prepared. You thought that financial stability alone would fix everything, but I desire something greater. I want your soul to be so strong that even when an unexpected wind blows, you will remain unmoved. I want you to become a person who is steady from within, because the abundance I am preparing is not for trembling hearts, It is for those who stand firm in absolute trust in me. For years, you have walked in a state of both hope and fear, believing that I can do great things, yet hesitating, unsure whether you are worthy. I have seen the moments when your faith was whole, and I have also seen the moments when you doubted your own worth. I have watched you wrestle between the voice of trust and the voice of fear. But my child, what I want you to know is this: the transformation I'm working in, you will make those voices smaller and smaller until they finally fall silent. I do not merely want to change your circumstances, I want to renew the way you see yourself. I chose you not because you were perfect, but because I saw in you a heart that can be molded to carry my glory. I saw in you a capacity to love beyond the pain you have endured. I saw in you the ability to rise from ashes where many have collapsed. I saw in you a perseverance you have never recognized in yourself, and it is that perseverance that has brought you to this moment, the moment in which I begin the deepest level of transformation. This transformation does not arrive through loud signs, but through the gentle breaths of my presence surrounding your heart. You once believed you had to be strong in order to live rightly. But I tell you, come to me in your weakness, that I may make you strong with my strength. Strength is not suppressing your emotions or burying your wounds. Strength is allowing me to enter the deepest chambers of your soul, the places you have long been afraid to revisit. For when I step into those places, I do not merely heal, I recreate. I do not merely comfort, I restore. I do not merely bring peace, I lay a new foundation altogether. In the season when you had nothing impressive to show, I saw your faithfulness. In the days when you felt you were only surviving, I saw your perseverance as the seed of a spiritual harvest. And now, I want you to know that your faithfulness has moved heaven, has caused the heavens to inscribe your name into the season of transformation. Not merely a breakthrough in finances, but a breakthrough in your spirit, your mindset, your identity, and the way you perceive life and yourself. I am leading you into the land of holy maturity, where you no longer live by reaction but by guidance, where you are no longer compelled to run after every wave of anxiety, but know how to stand still in peace even when storms howl around you, where you no longer define yourself by the words of others, but by my voice, where you no longer fear change, but recognize that I am using every change to build you. I have exposed the things that once made you weak, so you would know exactly where I desire to place healing. I have allowed you to face disappointments, so you could recognize what does not align with your destiny. I have let you walk through doors that seemed right, so you could learn to distinguish my voice from the voice of deception. None of this was to discourage you, but to refine the sensitivity of your soul. For once your soul becomes discerning, you will not be fooled by opportunities that look beautiful on the outside but are empty on the inside. You once asked me, why does everything fall apart when I thought it was finally right? And I want you to know, sometimes I must allow the old to break so the new can be built. A vessel cannot hold new wine if it still carries old fractures. A foundation cannot support a new structure if it has long been cracked. Many things in your life did not collapse to punish you. They collapsed to free you. If I had allowed the old to continue, it would have hindered you from reaching what I have prepared. And now, because you walked through ruins without losing your faith, I am placing my hand upon your identity. I do not call you a failure. I do not call you lacking. I do not call you someone striving in vain. I call you chosen. I call you appointed. I call you one who carries light in darkness. I call you a voice of hope in a weary world. I am awakening within you a strength you never knew you possessed. A strength not built on accomplishments but on union with me. A strength not born from what you achieve, but from the weight you no longer carry. A strength that allows you to look at trials with peaceful eyes. A strength that makes the things that once terrified you lose their power. I have seen the way you served others even while wounded. I have seen the way you gave even when you had little. I have seen the way you tried to stand when everything around you pushed to make you fall. I have never overlooked those moments. It is those very moments that caused heaven to call your name. Your heart has moved me, and your faithfulness is opening a season of transformation that no one can hinder. From this day forward, I will show you the internal changes happening within you in gentle yet powerful ways. You will notice yourself responding differently, softer, calmer, deeper. You will notice that things which once triggered panic will now touch only the surface without penetrating your soul. You will notice that you can discern what I want and what I do not want. And you will see this transformation becoming the firm foundation for the breakthrough I am ushering into your life. This is not merely a season of blessing, it is a season of recreation. Not merely a season of provision, it is a season of reformation. Not merely a season of open doors, it is the season in which I place you in the right position, with the right posture, and the right identity to carry what I give without losing yourself. My beloved child, I want to lead you into a realm you rarely pay attention to. Yet it is the very place that determines every step you take your mind. If the heart is the soil where I sow seeds, then the mind is the space where those seeds either sprout, grow, or are choked. And in this part, I will reshape your thinking. Dismantle the invisible chains you did not know you were carrying, so that you can walk in the complete freedom I have already prepared for you. There are thoughts that have clung to you for so many years that you have mistaken them for part of your nature. Thoughts like, I am not enough. I am not worthy. I cannot grow any further. I will always lack. I will never break through like others. You do not realize that these thoughts do not come from me. They are traces of old painful seasons. Voices born out of experiences that wounded you. Words others once spoke that you unconsciously agreed with. They are not truth. They are only the shadow cast by fears that have not yet been healed. In this new season, I want to renew the way you think, because you cannot carry old thinking into a new destiny. An old wineskin cannot hold new wine. An old habit cannot sustain the kind of life I am opening before you. An old mental structure cannot bear the weight of the doors I am preparing to open for you. So let me remove, layer by layer, the old patterns of thought that have made you shrink back all this time. You once believed that you had to be worthy before I would bless you. But I tell you this, the blessings I have for you are not based on your perfection but on my unchanging love. I do not wait for you to become strong before lifting you up. I lift you up so that you may become strong. I do not wait for you to be sharp and insightful before guiding you. I guide you so that you may grow in discernment. I do not wait until you have no doubt before I speak. I speak so that you may learn to trust. You do not enter the new season by merit. You enter by calling. And that calling cannot be taken away by anyone. The false thoughts that once bound you will lose their power when I touch them with my truth. I will replace fear with clarity. Replace doubt with trust. Replace inferiority with the knowledge that you were created with a specific purpose. I will remove from your mind the memories that made you think you were small. And I will place within you the awareness that you are loved even at your weakest. I know there are days when you try to keep your mind at peace, but your emotions rise like sudden waves and drag you into a whirlpool of anxiety. I know there are nights when you lie down but your thoughts scatter everywhere, unable to stop, as though someone were opening every door of the past and letting old images rush back in. I do not condemn you for this. I know how exhaustion makes it hard for you to stand. But, my child, I have not come to accuse. I have come to heal, to bring your mind from chaos into stillness, from instability into balance. I want to teach you how to recognize my voice among 1,000 others, because not everything that sounds loud is true. Some voices come from fear, some from old wounds, some from those who hurt you in the past. But my voice, even when gentle, always carries life. My voice does not push or shove you, it leads you. My voice does not throw you into panic, it gives you peace. My voice does not leave you feeling judged, it makes you aware that you are loved. When you learn to recognize my voice, you will no longer be pulled into wrong turns. You will know how to choose correctly, even when everyone around you is going another way. I want your mind to become fertile ground where ideas from heaven can take root and blossom. There are strategies I want to plant in your thoughts, plans I want to reveal, directions I want to lead you into, but your mind must have room in order to receive them. A mind crammed with worry cannot hold creativity. A mind haunted by wounds cannot see a way out. A mind constantly on the defensive cannot accept new guidance. So I will gently remove each worry, each wound, each layer of defensiveness, so that your mind becomes a safe, open space where I can whisper the things I long to do through your life. The renewal of the mind is not a sudden change in a moment. It is a transformation built through small daily choices. When you choose forgiveness instead of clinging to bitterness, your mind is being renewed. When you choose to speak life instead of complaints, your mind is being renewed. When you choose to trust me instead of trusting your fears, your mind is being renewed. When you choose silence instead of reacting in anger, your mind is being renewed. Each of these choices is like a brick I am laying to build a new structure, solid, clear, and resilient. I am not only teaching you to think differently, I am teaching you to see yourself through my eyes. If you see yourself through your failures, you will always feel lacking. If you see yourself through your past, you will always be trapped in seasons that have already ended. If you see yourself through people's expectations, you will always feel that you fall short. But when you see yourself through my gaze, you will see a person being transformed, a person being led, a person of such worth that I do not hesitate to break chains to set you free. I want you to understand this. The new mindset I give you is not just so that you can live better. It is so that you can live true to the design I drew for you before you were even born. I did not create you to walk in worn-out paths, to always stay behind others, or to live in the fear of failure. I created you to rise with wisdom equipped by heaven, to walk in a confidence upheld by me, to become a voice that helps others rediscover the light within themselves. A renewed mind will lead you into a completely different way of living. You will see challenges as opportunities. You will see criticism as something that no longer holds power over you. You will see the past as a lesson, not a prison. You will see the future not through anxiety, but through peaceful expectation. You will no longer see yourself as small under pressure. You will see yourself upheld by the one who goes before you. I know there are times you feel you cannot keep your mind at peace for long, but do not be afraid. My child, I am not asking you to preserve it by your own strength. I myself am the keeper. I will place a stillness so deep within you that no external noise will be able to shake your mind anymore. I will teach you to breathe in the rhythm of heaven, to walk in step with me, and to live in the flow of a peace the world cannot give. I am reshaping you so that you become truly yourself in the version I dreamed of when I formed you in the palm of my hand. This is a recreation that nothing can stop. And you will know not only with your intellect but with every fiber of your soul that I am renewing your mind day by day to prepare you for doors that only the transformed can walk through. Beloved child, when I have healed your heart and renewed your thinking, I want to lead you into a deeper layer of maturity where you not only receive, but also steward, not only walk in the light, but also become a source of light, not only live by miracles, but live by solid wisdom that flows from the union between myself and your soul. This is the most beautiful part of transformation, when you are not only lifted up, but are formed into someone who carries my grace, influencing your generation with a peace and strength that cannot be shaken. Many people seek miracles but avoid maturity. They want doors to open, but they do not want to let me rearrange their inner life. They want to receive wealth, but they do not want to learn how to guard their hearts from pride. They want prosperity, but they do not want to learn discernment. But you are different. I have called you not only to enjoy blessing, but to live in blessing sustainably, to become a person whom no storm in life can easily move. I want you to understand that spiritual maturity is the armor that protects you from what the eye cannot see, the temptations that come with new positions, the voices that creep into your mind when you begin to have influence, the emotions that can turn into obstacles if they are not healed. My child, I am preparing you to step into places where immaturity would make you hesitate, but maturity will allow you to stand tall without trembling. This maturity is not harshness. It is the gentle steadiness I am building within you. It is the peace that makes others wonder why you are not anxious when circumstances around you shift and shake. It is the stillness that draws others toward you when they are distressed, because they sense my presence resting upon you. It is softness without weakness, strength without rigidity, endurance without bitterness. I did not call you merely to overcome, I called you to lead. But I teach you to lead by first teaching you to surrender. Many desire high positions, yet refuse to release the things that weigh them down. They want to stand in the light, but they will not allow me to cleanse the hidden places within them. You are different, my child. You have allowed me to enter the places you once hid. You have let me touch the parts of you you once feared to confront. You have given me permission to dismantle the invisible chains others still cling to. And because of this, I will entrust to you what I cannot entrust to those who will not yield. The maturity I give does not arise from intellect but from experiencing me in all circumstances. When you learn to see trials as fertile soil for growth, you are maturing. When you recognize that delay is not denial, but preparation, you are maturing. When you can love without fearing harm as you did before, you are maturing. When you can forgive without needing an apology, you are maturing. When you stand on my side even when no one else stands with you, you are maturing. And when you can walk in peace even when your future is unclear, you are more mature than many realize. I am leading you into a season where the things that once stirred panic will no longer shake you. Like someone who has learned how to walk through crashing waves without fearing the water, you will know that with me in your boat, you cannot sink. I want you to stop evaluating your life by what you see and begin looking at everything from the perspective of heaven. When your heart and mind align with my vision, you will realize that not one moment of your life is random. Everything I allow is designed to bring you into the strength I ordained from the beginning. The maturity I give will not only help you stand firm, it will help you stand in the right place. When your mind is renewed and your heart is healed, you will no longer hide in smallness. You will step forward with a confidence that is not your own but me. You will speak encouragement that you once did not dare to speak. You will place your hands on work you once thought too great. You will accept roles you once felt unqualified for. You will walk through doors you once only watched from afar, not because you suddenly became more capable, but because you now know you are not walking alone. When you walk with me, fullness does not lead to pride, it leads to humility. Success does not make you afraid, it makes you grateful. Pressure does not burden you, it drives you deeper into me. I am opening within you a territory where maturity becomes the foundation. You will notice that from now on, you will not merely get through each day, you will live with purpose. You will live as someone who knows they are being built for influence. You will live as someone prepared not to stand at the back, but to stand in the place I appoint you to represent my light. The maturity you are entering is a sign of a new assignment. I am not renewing your mind only to make you feel better. I am not healing your heart only to make you lighter. I am preparing you for positions where only those who have walked through the fire with me can stand firm. I will take you to places where you must carry peace, like a torch. I will bring you to people who do not need a sermon but need a soul that has been healed. I will place you in conversations where you yourself will be the unexpected answer because your stillness will dissolve their fear. I am maturing you so that you will not be swept away by small things. I am maturing you so you will not lose peace because of temporary disruptions. I am maturing you so you can step into blessing without being pulled backward by doubt. I am maturing you so you may receive favor without being hindered by old shame. I am maturing you so you will no longer carry the identity of past seasons. You are no longer the wounded one. You are no longer the one running after every need. You are no longer the one afraid of lack. You are becoming the one who knows their source. My child, I have seen your perseverance on the days no one knew about. I have seen the moments you chose what was right even when what was wrong felt easier. I have seen the times you stayed silent though you had every reason to retaliate. I have seen the nights you hid your tears and the mornings you rose again. These are the things that have made you mature, that have expanded your heart to hold the great things I am preparing. From this day forward, you will notice your transformation not only in emotion, but in the way you walk through life. You will find yourself reacting less quickly, fearing less, being less influenced by others. You will find yourself knowing how to say no at the right time, how to guard your peace, how to choose what brings life instead of what drains your soul. You will notice yourself caring for your own well-being in the way I always intended, not out of pressure, but out of love. The maturity forming within you will cause others to recognize me in you without you having to say much. When you enter a room, peace will enter with you. When you speak, people will recognize wisdom beyond your years. When you remain silent, people will sense a strength they cannot explain. This is not you trying. This is me living in you. And here is what I want you to hold in your heart. This maturity is not the end, it is the beginning. It is the foundation upon which I will take you into seasons you never imagined. It is the armor that will keep you from losing your way. It is the posture that will allow you to live in blessing without losing humility. It is the breath of heaven in every step you take. My child, I will lead you into a deeper reality, the reality of spiritual shifting. This is not a change you can measure with your natural eyes. It is a movement unfolding in the heavenly realms, where I have issued commands and my angels are carrying out what I have ordained for your life. You will not see it with your eyes, but you will feel it with your soul. You will not grasp it with reason, but you will recognize it through the profound stillness I place within you. You will not be able to explain it, but you will know with absolute certainty that I am at work. When I prepare someone for a new season, I do not begin by changing their circumstances. I begin by changing the spiritual atmosphere around them. This shift is like the turning of the wind invisible, yet it moves everything. You may not yet see a dramatic change in your situation, but you will sense that something is different. You will no longer collapse under the things that once crushed you. You will no longer be confused by challenges that once stole your sleep. You will no longer fear the opinions of people who once unsettled you, for the atmosphere around you has changed. The old pressure no longer carries weight, and the darkness that clung to you no longer has permission to stand near. I have seen you walk through nights that felt endless. I have seen you hold your heart together while burdens pressed down. I have seen you remain silent when misunderstood. Remain faithful when forgotten. Remain trusting when nothing in the natural affirmed that trust. And it is these very things that have summoned this season of spiritual shifting, for your faithfulness in the dark has moved the heavens to open. When a fragile soul still chooses to trust in me, all of heaven moves. My child, the spiritual shifting I am bringing into your life is not a small adjustment. It is a foundational transformation beneath the surface of your entire being. I am not shifting you merely to make you more comfortable. I am shifting you to position you exactly where I intended for you from the beginning. You were not created to remain beneath. I formed you to stand in the place I have called you to. You were not created to live beneath your potential. I wrote your destiny with intentional, meaningful strokes. And now, this spiritual shifting is the moment when I begin to enact what I wrote. You will first sense it through the infusion of peace, not a peace born from favorable circumstances, but a peace born from something deeper. The very peace Isaiah spoke of when he said that I am the one who keeps rest within your heart. This peace is untouched by trials, unmoved by people's opinions, and unshaken by unexpected events. It is the first sign that heaven is shifting. The second sign is clarity in your soul. You will begin to know when it is my voice speaking and when it is only the echo of fear. You will recognize which doors I open and which doors I do not permit you to enter. You will become perceptive in ways you once longed for but never attained. This is not because you have suddenly become more skilled. It is because I am elevating the vision within you. The third sign is gentle refusal, a protection I allow for your sake. There will be doors you thought you wanted, but I will close them because I know they are not good for you. There will be relationships you assumed were blessings, but I will remove them because I see what lies ahead. There will be opportunities you believed were right, yet I will let them slip away, so you avoid dead ends you cannot yet discern. Believe this when I say no. It is not to limit you, but to rescue you. This spiritual shifting is not something you can control. It is something I initiate when the timing has ripened. You once thought my silence meant inactivity, but in reality, I was preparing. Just as a rainy season does not start with the first thunderclap, but with a shift in the wind. What I am doing in this season begins with invisible redirection. You will not hear loud noises. You will feel gentle changes settling over your soul. I am moving you from the land of striving into the land of outpouring. You will find yourself no longer needing to perform to be accepted. Strive to succeed, or struggle not to fall behind. You will see ease flow like a river, not because you forced it, but because I ordained it. You will know the difference between working in your own strength and working in me. In your strength, you become weary and break easily. In me, you will accomplish more without collapsing. I am also shifting the people around you. I am removing those who hinder you so you will not be pulled backward. I am drawing close to those who carry light so they can support your journey. I am pushing away connections that slow you down and bringing in connections that will expand your life. When someone leaves your life, do not see it as loss, see it as divine alignment. When someone enters with a deeper understanding, know they came because I called them. You will also notice this: your spiritual resilience will increase. The things that once caused you to stumble will no longer drag you down. The criticism that once made you anxious will no longer hold power. The memories that once pierced you will become nothing more than chapters I have closed. This is what happens when I shift the atmosphere around you. I do not merely weaken the power of darkness, I strengthen what is within you, so you are no longer easily wounded. This shifting is not about distributing blessings, it is about repositioning. You are no longer in the place of the oppressed. You are no longer standing where shadows hide you. You are no longer placed at the back. I am calling you forward. I am positioning you where I need you to stand, that you may carry blessings to others. You do not enter this new land merely to live better. You enter to live according to the divine blueprint written for you. Look back over the years and you will see this truth: not one challenge was meaningless. Not one pain was wasted. Not one tear went unnoticed. All of it contributed to shaping you the strong, deep, resilient version of yourself that I am now using in this season. And now, prepare your heart, for the spiritual shifting I am doing will lead you into things you have never seen, never asked for, and never believed yourself worthy of. But I do this not because you are perfect, I do it because you surrendered. And that surrender has opened the gates of heaven. Beloved child, now I want to draw you into an even deeper step, a step invisible to many, yet the very place where everything truly changes. It is the step where I break the unseen bonds that have imprisoned your soul, and then I establish heavenly judgment and authority over your life. This is the quiet yet powerful part of my work, the part only I can see fully, but you will feel its result in every breath, every action, every day you live. There are chains that make no sound, cords that cannot be seen, prison cells without iron locks, yet they have held your soul far longer than physical bonds ever could. They were formed by harsh words spoken to you in childhood. They were born from comparisons that made you feel small. They were woven from moments when you were abandoned, forgotten, belittled. They grew from disappointments you endured, dreams that died halfway, hopes that dissolved. These chains were not created by you, yet you carried them so long you believed they were part of your nature. But I did not create you to be bound by invisible things. I did not call you to walk in endless cycles of weariness. I did not place my anointing upon your life so it could be blocked by the echoes of your past. And so now, I step in to break the chains you have no strength to break on your own. In this part of the journey, you will not hear the thunder of storms. You will hear the gentle yet authoritative sound of snapping, the snap of fear that once weighed on you, the snap of shame that made you hide, the snap of the lies that told you you were not enough, the snap of inferiority that stifled your dreams, the snap of the obsession with failure, the snap of old memories that dragged your worth to the lowest place. I do not break things recklessly, I break them with precision. I strike the exact place where darkness anchored itself, the exact corner where pain hid, the exact room where deception built its throne. And when I break, the darkness loses its dwelling, lies lose their footing, fear loses its voice. The moment you hear the first snap, your soul will recognize I am being freed from what once dragged me down. And after I break those invisible chains, I do not leave you standing in the ashes of what once was. I establish over your life the authority of heaven. This heavenly authority is like a divine decree sealed with my own stamp, proclaiming, you are no longer defined by your past, you are defined by my word. You no longer belong to the judgments spoken over you, you belong to my approval. You no longer carry the identity of pain, you carry the identity of the called. When heaven's authority is established, It means every accusation that ever spoke over your life loses its power. No one has the right to place labels on you. No fear has the right to hinder your steps. No voice but me has the authority to shape your destiny. And no wound from your past can redirect the journey you now step into. My child, you will first sense all of this in the transformation of how you see yourself. You will no longer look at yourself through the lens of old stories. You will no longer see yourself as a victim of rejection. You will no longer measure yourself by past failures. You will begin to see yourself as I see you, one who is strong even in weakness. One who is equipped through humility. One whose worth cannot be measured by achievement. One whose name I called long before you ever formed a single word. This change is not a new form of pride. It is a spiritual recognition of your true place within my plan. And when the authority of heaven is established over you, another thing will happen. Every power that once opposed you will lose its legal right to intervene. Not because you have become stronger, but because I have declared that you belong to me. Many battles you once fought with exhaustion were not due to weakness, but because you were fighting alone. But from now on, darkness will not touch you as easily as before. The schemes that once slipped into your mind to confuse you will lose their influence. The invisible accusations that made you feel wrong even when you were standing right will fall silent. For I, the one who placed supreme authority over your life, have issued a spiritual decree covering you. What I declare, lawful. No power in the unseen realm can appeal. I do not change my mind because of human opinion. I do not revise my plans because you fell behind a few steps. I do not withdraw my favor because you once faltered. Once I have proclaimed that you are chosen. Heaven seals it and earth aligns. And when that heavenly authority goes forth from my mouth, you will begin to feel a shift in how you face difficulties. The things that once confused you will no longer pierce your soul. The trials that once crushed you will feel like passing winds. The criticism that once caused your heart to close will no longer sow fear. You will walk with a confidence that is quiet yet solid as stone, a confidence not rooted in ego, but in the knowledge that I, the Almighty, have called you and am with you. My child, when heavenly authority is established, I also begin rearranging the order of your life. Things that once held central place in your mind will fade. Things that once kept you awake at night will lose their weight. People who once hurt you will no longer hold influence over your emotions. I will reorder everything: what you must keep, what you must release, what you must move toward, and what I want you to step away from. I will also change the way you respond to the words of others. No longer will you be shaken by a careless comment. No longer will you lose your peace because someone misunderstood you. No longer will you shrink because of a cold glance. When I establish my authority upon your life, the words of others fall to the ground like dust in the wind, and my voice becomes the compass that leads you. Look at what I am doing in the quiet. I am restoring to you what you thought was lost. I am returning what has been worn down through the years. I am giving you back your voice where you were once silenced. I am rebuilding the confidence buried under the ashes of your past. And I am placing within you a peace that no power on earth can steal. This breaking and establishing is the necessary step before I open the doors of public increase. I will not let you step into high places while your feet are still entangled in old things. I will not let you stand before many while you still believe the lies of your past. Nor will I let you carry wounds that cause you to view every blessing with suspicion. And so I tear down, then I establish. I break, then I rebuild. And when the authority of heaven has been set in place, you will find yourself gently ushered into new opportunities, new relationships, and open doors no one expected you to reach, not because you forced anything open, but because the doors begin to open for you. Beloved child, when I have shifted the spiritual atmosphere around you and established heavenly authority over your life, I want to bring you into a higher phase, a phase I call the new operational orbit. This is not merely a blessing, this is activation. Not merely healing, this is commissioning. Not merely elevation, this is positioning you into the orbit where every step you take begins to match the things I ordained in eternity. There were seasons when I had you stand still so I could heal you. Seasons when I slowed your pace so you could learn discernment. Seasons when I hid you in the shadows to cultivate your inner life. But now, I have turned the key in the realm of the Spirit. The door is not only open, it has shifted fully into operational mode. This means you are no longer in a season of waiting. You are stepping into a season of functioning. This function will not look like anything you have seen before. You will notice that the things you once had to struggle for now unfold with ease, as if an invisible current is carrying you forward. This is not luck, not coincidence, and not perfect timing. This is me adjusting the orbit of your life so that everything in heaven and earth harmonizes to bring you to the right place, at the right time, for the right purpose. You once fought desperately for small things. You once wrestled just to keep your peace. You once struggled not to fall out of the position I called you to. You once felt like you were merely surviving and never truly living. But in this new orbit, you will realize the things that once felt heavy will become lighter. The things that once delayed will be accelerated. The things that once remained blocked will flow, not because you changed every strategy, but because I removed the obstacles that once stood in your portion. When I remove the stone from the path, you do not have to lift it, you simply walk forward. When I clear the invisible traps from the road ahead, you do not need to be excessively cautious, you simply follow my leading. My child, divine ease is the sign I am giving you. Not ease born of convenience, but lasting ease, the kind that flows from my presence, not from your solitary striving. Beloved child, when I bring you into this new orbit, I also open your spiritual ears so you may know what my voice and what is the voice seeking to distract you. You will begin to sense with clarity which direction I want you to move toward and which places I do not want you to touch. This discernment will operate like an inner compass when you stand before two paths. You will feel peace resting on one of them. When you face an opportunity that appears good, you will feel an internal dissonance if it is not from me. When a new idea arises, you will immediately know whether it is a light I planted or merely a passing impulse. This is not because you have become more sensitive, but because I am removing the noise that once blurred the signal. In this new orbit, you will know how to walk without guessing. You will feel what knocks at your door from darkness and what comes to you from heaven. You will no longer be pulled by fleeting desires, by voices that are half truth and half lie, or by the subtle bait of the world. My child, the discernment I give is the eyes of heaven placed inside your heart. This is a dimension you once did not believe you had the right to touch, but I tell you this with the authority of the Eternal One when I bring you into the new orbit. I give you authority to stand above what once stood above you. Fear that bound you will retreat. Doubt that made you hesitate will fall silent. Memories that once robbed your trust will lose their voice. Spiritual attacks that once struck you like storms will no longer make you tremble. Not because you have become strong by human standards, but because you stand under my shadow. And when you stand under my shadow, everything that opposes you must face me first and before me. No power can remain. The authority I place upon you will surprise you You will find yourself calm in places where you once shook. You will find yourself standing tall where you once shrank back. You will find yourself speaking life where you once stayed silent out of fear. I do not bring you into high places so pressure can crush you. I bring you into high places so you may become who you truly are in the version I designed. Understand this clearly. The new operation I give you is not for display but for service. Not for self-promotion but for the glory of my name. Not to make you the center, but to make you a channel. You will be used to encourage those who are lost, to lift those whose souls are shattered, to guide those who need light, to become a refuge for those walking through storms you once survived. I waste none of your painful seasons. Everything you endured in silence will become the very place from which I release strength to touch others. You will speak the words I place in your heart, words others desperately needed but never found. You will become living proof that healing is real, that spiritual renewal is real, that freedom is not theory. Do not compare your journey with anyone else. The orbit I place you in is unlike any other. Others may move faster, but that does not mean they are called to the same role. Some are positioned in loud places. You are positioned in deep ones. Some are given strength for outward influence. You are given strength for profound inner transformation. Some are called to speak much. You are called to speak right. Your orbit is unique. It is written according to every crack I healed, every tear I wiped, every whispered prayer I heard. No one can step into that orbit unless they have walked the path you walked. Operating in this new orbit is not the beginning. It is the doorway to a series of unfolding journeys. You will not be lifted only once. You will be lifted in stages. Not just one door, but a system of doors. Not just one season of blessing, but cycles of increase. You have walked through seasons of narrowing, but now you stand at the edge of a season of expansion, expansion of vision, expansion of influence, expansion of wisdom, expansion of inner capacity, expansion of your understanding of me, beloved child. Once you have been healed, reshaped, placed in a new orbit, and made firm in the authority I have given you, I want to reveal a completely new chapter of the journey I have prepared for you, the chapter of expansion. This is not surface-level increase, not a slight shift in circumstances. This is expansion born from eternity, where I speak a word and everything in heaven and on earth begins to make way to fulfill what I have spoken. This expansion does not come from human wisdom. It does not come because you are skilled enough, likable enough, or resourceful enough. It comes from one thing alone. I have decided to expand your portion. And when I decide, no power in darkness can block it. No delay in time can slow it. No voice can argue against it. When I speak, it becomes. But before I display this expansion outwardly, I want you to understand that it begins within. Every true expansion begins in the heart, in the mind, in the vision, in the awareness, in the spiritual capacity within you. My beloved child, many desire expansion, yet their souls shrink back because they fear loss. Many long for wide open doors, yet their hearts remain too small to hold the steps required. Many pray for breakthrough, yet refuse to let me enlarge the frame of their inner being. But you are not like them. You have allowed me to heal you, to break your chains, to renew your mind, and to lift the capacity of your heart. And because of that, now I can place something greater into your hands. The expansion within you will first appear as a change in your vision. You will see what you never imagined before. You will begin to perceive opportunity in what once seemed ordinary. You will see possibility even when circumstances appear closed. I will open your spiritual eyes to see a larger picture, one that far surpasses the small version you once held of yourself. You will realize that I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to influence. I do not want you just to have enough. I want you to overflow so you may strengthen others. I do not want you to simply get through each day. I want you to become a source of blessing for the weary. When your vision expands, you will no longer be limited by what others think of you, by what the past confined you to, or by the judgments that once trapped you in small spaces. You will know I created you to carry a light many have been waiting for. This expansion will also arrive as a quiet increase within you. You will feel new capacity, new strength, deeper patience, greater compassion, and a firmness of spirit you never had before. Not because you are trying to be strong, but because I am breathing life into you. Like the wind that is unseen but deeply felt, my power will work within you, gentle yet undeniable. And when your inner being has been stretched enough, I will begin expanding what belongs to you on the outside. In this season of expansion, you will see long closed things opening suddenly, relationships once distant reconnecting in healthy ways, opportunities you thought you missed returning in a version more aligned and more beautiful, people you never expected becoming those who lift you up. I will restructure your life. No more old cycles. No more endless battles. No more striving with no result. You will step into the flow of divine ease, not ease without effort, but ease of timing. There are people I will bring into your life so they may be touched by the light you now carry. You will not need to appear perfect. Simply living from what I placed within you will make the difference. They will seek encouragement from you. They will see peace in your eyes. They will feel my presence when they hear your voice. It is not because you want attention, but because I want to use you as living water in a thirsty generation. This expansion is not merely activity, it is divine impact. Your presence will soften hardened hearts. Your endurance will become testimony to those collapsing under burdens. Your steadfastness will light the path for others to find hope again. Expansion is not just gaining more, it is letting go of the small to walk into the greater. Many fear expansion because they fear release. But you are ready. I have seen this in the way you let go of what no longer aligned, in how you refused to let pain define you, in how you stopped clinging to connections that had already expired. And because of that, in this season, you will see certain doors will close quickly so larger ones can open. Some relationships will fade so heavenly assignments can enter. Some plans will be delayed only to make room for the better blueprint I am guiding you into. When I expand you, I also give you the wisdom to steward that expansion. I do not want you overwhelmed. I want you established. I do not want you running without direction. I want you walking each step in the quiet strength of faith. Expansion without wisdom becomes a burden. Expansion guided by me becomes grace. In this season, you will learn when to advance and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to receive and when to decline, when to hold on and when to release. This wisdom does not rise from worldly experience, but from my whisper within your heart. Remember this, I do not expand you so you may shine. I expand you so my will may be revealed through you. You are not the center of this expansion, I am. You are the vessel. Therefore, this expansion will not make you proud. It will make you grateful. It will not make you cling tightly. It will make you open your hands. It will not make you anxious. It will make you peaceful. My beloved child, after I expand your inner being and show you the greater movement I am orchestrating, I now want to bring you into a deeper layer, the enlargement of your soul's capacity. For outward expansion only stands firm when inward capacity is deep enough, wide enough, and strong enough to carry what I place into your hands. Capacity is not formed in glorious moments. It grows in the empty spaces, in the hours when I seem silent, in the waiting seasons where the soul must choose between surrender and steadfastness. You have lived through those seasons. You have known what it feels like to face difficulty alone, yet still whisper, "Lord, I continue to trust." Those moments have become the foundation of the new capacity rising in you. If your heart seeks only small things, you will have strength only for small things. But I have seen in you a longing beyond former boundaries, a longing not born of ambition but born of the divine call I anchored in your soul. You have sensed that your life is not meant for just enough. And you are right. I did not form you to live narrowly. I formed you to walk in an abundant covenant, carrying light and influence into the places where I send you. Therefore, I begin enlarging your capacity. This does not happen in a single moment, but in a process that the prophet Isaiah compared to a woman laboring to give birth. Each change in you is a contraction of the soul. Each surrender is a new breath. Each healed wound widens another doorway. I waste none of your tears. Every struggle, every endurance, every deep desire becomes material for me to build new ground within you, the kind of soil that can hold great seed. When I enlarge your capacity, the first thing I do is free you from limiting beliefs. You will no longer see yourself through the lens of past failures, shortcomings, or seasons of lack. You will no longer confine yourself to the labels others place on you. You will no longer carry names that never belonged to you. I am replacing them with new awareness you are chosen to carry, what many do not have the courage to step into. I am lifting your mind higher. You will begin to think spiritually, not fearfully. You will look at circumstances through the lens of faith, not doubt. You will understand that certain things cannot be solved by natural strength, but only by recognizing that I am moving in the deepest layers of reality. That is why I gently ask you, my child, do you believe I can do beyond what you imagine? And your answer, sometimes fragile but always sincere, allows me to stretch your capacity one layer, one dimension, one depth at a time. As I enlarge your capacity, I lead you into spiritual maturity, one not gained from knowledge, but from walking through trials with faithfulness. I have seen every moment you chose obedience when your reasoning told you to quit. I have watched you remain steadfast in days when no one understood you. And in that steadfastness, you grew. Here is what I want you to understand. Capacity is not the ability to endure. It is the ability to stay in peace when winds blow strong. A mature soul is one that does not let storms shake its foundation. The winds may come, circumstances may change, but your heart will remain anchored in the certainty that I am with you. This peace does not come from your surroundings. It comes from me living within you. My beloved child, when your capacity is enlarged, you will see that the things which once easily frightened you no longer have the power to shake you. What once caused you to collapse will now become a lesson. What once confused you will now open a deeper dimension within you, making you more stable. Greater capacity does not mean you become numb. It means you have learned to anchor your soul in the one who does not change me. When I increase the capacity of your soul, I also do something more. I draw you into deeper partnership with me. Every step you take will no longer be a habitual reaction, but a conscious, guided movement. You will learn to listen not only with your ears, but with your spirit. You will learn to wait, not in anxiety, but in rest. You will learn to recognize my movement even in the smallest details. I will teach you what Israel had to learn in the wilderness, not to run ahead of me and not to lag behind, but to walk in step with me. When the pillar of cloud stopped, They stopped. When the pillar of fire moved, they moved. You too will learn to live like this, not chasing after opportunity, but following my leading, not clinging to the old, but opening your hands to the new at the right time. And you will discover that your heart now has space to receive what I give. Instead of being overwhelmed or strained, it is not blessing that exhausts you. It is lack of preparation that wears you out. That is why I must enlarge your capacity before I open the storehouses around you. I will also expand your skills and natural abilities by weaving the spiritual into every step. You will begin to do things you once feared to try, feared to fail at, feared to get wrong. You will begin to step into fields I prepared for you long ago, but which you never dared to imagine. You will speak words you did not previously have the confidence to speak. You will make decisions you once lacked the strength to make. Greater capacity means you no longer tremble before the new roles I entrust to you. It does not make you proud, it makes you ready. Child, as your capacity is lifted, I will also deepen the fellowship between us. You will sense my presence more clearly, not merely as fleeting emotion, but as a quiet certainty in your heart that I am near. I will make your heart more sensitive to my voice. Questions that once troubled you will find their answers. Things you did not understand will become clear. Events that once seemed disconnected will begin to join into a holy tapestry. You will realize I was never silent. I was waiting for you to grow enough to understand my language. My child, I also want you to know this greater capacity is not given only to receive blessing, it is given to keep blessing. Many receive but cannot retain, because they do not yet have the strength to sustain what they have been given. I do not want that for you. I desire an enduring blessing, a kind of inheritance that can flow from your life into the generations after you. I did not create you for passing blessings. I created you to walk in a sustained, abundant way of living, built on the discipline of faith, the purity of heart, and the wisdom born of fellowship with me. My beloved, as your capacity grows, you will look back and recognize that every trial, every waiting season, every inner struggle has a purpose. If I had given you something great before you were ready, that great thing could have broken you. But because I love you, I choose the right time. And now is that time, the time when you are mature enough, deep enough, and discerning enough to carry what I have long prepared. Child, now I will bring you into a more crucial phase, the phase in which you are positioned to steward blessing. Many ask me for blessings, but few ask me for the ability to steward that blessing. I give to you not only because you desire, but because you have been trained to guard, develop, and multiply what I entrust to you. The abundance I have for you is not a temporary gift, it is a sacred trust. When I open doors that have been locked for many years, I do not open them so you may pass through casually. I open them so you may recognize that you are being positioned for a greater assignment. Every blessing in this season carries a heavenly seal, and every heavenly seal carries responsibility. But do not fear. I never place responsibility on someone I have not prepared. That is why I allowed you to go through trials that seemed beyond your strength. Because I knew that when you emerged from those seasons, you would no longer be fragile. You would be someone capable of bearing the weight of greater things. Do not forget, the greater the blessing, the more subtle the battle. You will no longer face the loud storms of before. You will face whispers that try to pull you off the path I set. Subtle temptations, thoughts that seem harmless, opportunities that look beautiful, yet do not come from me. When blessing arrives, darkness often seeks a way in, not by force, but by distraction. Yet I am placing upon you a new kind of light, a light that lets you clearly see what comes from me and what comes to steal you away. You will know when I am opening a door, and when something is only a trap dressed in soft glow. My child, you are entering a season where discernment will become a sharp weapon. You will no longer decide based on emotion or pressure. You will begin to choose according to understanding given by the Holy Spirit. You will learn to ask the same question Solomon once asked, Lord, give me wisdom to discern between right and wrong. And that very prayer will mark you as one who can steward blessing without being swept away by it. When I position you as a steward, I do not only open doors for you to receive, I open doors for you to become a source. For many years, you have lived with a sense of constriction, thinking only in terms of enough, but I did not create you for mere sufficiency. I created you to carry a flow into barren places. I made you to be a well in dry land, a shade for the weary, a source of hope for those seeking a way out. And the mystery is this: as you pour out from what I place in your hands, the flow will never run dry. The abundance I entrust to you is not for satisfying old lack. It is for placing you in a new role in your family, in your community, and in the spiritual realm. You will become one who bears burdens others can no longer carry, not through pressure, but through peace. You will become one who upholds the weak, not through display, but through patience. You will become a refuge for the lost, not with loud words, but with the quiet peace radiating from your life. In this season, I will teach you the art of spiritual stewardship, something many have never learned. Spiritual stewardship is not merely storing, it is directing the flow to the right place. Not every need is a call for you to give. Not everyone who comes near is someone you must open your heart to fully. I will teach you to distinguish between true spiritual generosity and unwise giving. There are people I want you to help, and there are people I want you to keep a distance from. There are situations I want you to step into, and situations I want you to stand back from, so I may do what only I can do. A spiritual steward knows this blessing is not for consumption, it is for sowing. You will begin to recognize good soil, the places where I want you to invest your time, your wisdom, your resources, and your heart. You will see opportunities I have long prepared, waiting only for the day you were positioned to take hold of them. You will feel a gentle inner prompting that says, this is where you should sow. And each time you respond to that prompting, you will see an increase beyond what the world calls reasonable. You will see that the abundance I give you carries a deep peace. No more anxiety when you look at what you possess. No more fear of loss. No more feeling that you must protect everything yourself. For when you know I am your source, you will know that no one can take what I have given. That peace will allow you to walk in confidence, not based on wealth, but on me, the Lord of every harvest. When blessing comes, I will also teach you the discipline of silence. You do not need to boast. You do not need to prove. You do not need to make others understand. True blessing does not need noise. It speaks through its fruit. I will teach you the beauty of living quietly in grace, so that my light shining through you becomes something others feel. Without you having to advertise it, you will not need to defend yourself, argue, or prove anything. My presence over your life will be the clearest evidence that I am with you. I will place a heavenly hedge around everything I give you. I will send angels to guard the places where you walk. I will cover your mind so you will not be shaken by whispers or slander. I will set peace in the midst of the fire so you will not be tossed about as before. This is what I do for those whom I trust, and you will realize that everything I am giving you, from resources to wisdom, from opportunities to position, has one purpose: only to draw you closer to me. not to make you self-satisfied, but to shape you into a reflection of my kindness, not so you may hold every blessing only for yourself, but so you may become a channel through which my goodness flows, not so you may rise above others, but so you may lift them out of the places where they are sinking. My beloved child, when the foundations of your inner journey have been firmly laid, when the capacity of your soul has been enlarged, when you have learned to steward what I give with holiness and wisdom, I will lead you into a new season, a season of unveiling, where what I have done in the secret place will shine openly. This is not boasting. It is not self-displayed. It is the evidence that the light I placed within you has reached its appointed time to rise. There are things I taught you that no one saw, battles you fought with no sound of breaking swords, tears you shed on your pillow while the world saw you smile, decisions you made in solitude, guided only by the whisper I placed in your spirit, surrenders you chose not because you were strong, but because you trusted that I was writing a story beyond your sight. All these things, silent as they were holy, and I saw every one of them. Not a single effort fell to the ground unused. Not a single act of faithfulness went unnoticed. Not a single moment of obedience was lost in the wind. I recorded them all in the scrolls of heaven. And now, the season of unveiling has come. You were not prepared to remain hidden forever. You were prepared for this moment, the moment I elevated you into the place I wrote for you from the beginning. As David was anointed long before the time he ascended to the throne. As Joseph was forgotten in the prison until the precise moment I opened the way, so it is with you. This is when I bring you out of the silence of your hidden season, not because you need to be seen, but because the world must know that I, the Lord your God, am still working powerfully in the lives of those who trust me. The unveiling does not arrive in noise, it arrives in majesty. It comes like dawn. No one can pinpoint when the sun actually rises, yet all can see the light spreading across the sky. That is what will happen to you. The transformation that was once quiet will now become unmistakably visible, to the point that those who doubted you will fall silent. But I must tell you this clearly, the unveiling is not a reward, it is a continuation. Your reward is not the attention of people, nor recognition, nor material success. Your reward is me, my presence, my love, my promises, my guidance, and the intimacy you forged in seasons that seemed meaningless. When you walk into this season, you do not step into pride, you step into fullness. The first thing I release in the season of unveiling is spiritual ease. What once was difficult will now flow. You will look back and wonder, why did I struggle so much before? But my child, it was not because you were weak. It was because the time had not yet come. When the appointed time arrives, everything aligns. Doors open without you pounding on them. People mention your name without you seeking them out. Introductions, opportunities, confirmations, they will appear as naturally as spring follows winter. What I do for you in this season is what I once did for Esther. I place you in the right position, at the right time, in the right environment, so what I placed within you can be used for its true purpose. This season is not for your personal shining, it is for my light in you to rescue, uplift, and illuminate others. I will also expand your influence in unexpected ways. Those who once overlooked you will begin to listen. Those who once closed their doors will now seek you, not because you changed your tone or posture, but because I have filled your voice with spiritual weight. When you speak, people will sense the truth. When you act, they will recognize wisdom not born of human ability. This is the fruit of the many years you allowed me to refine. shape, and heal you. My beloved, the season of unveiling is also the season in which I return what has been stolen. There were moments when you felt you had lost too much time, opportunities, finances, trust, relationships, even pieces of yourself. But I have not let any loss dissolve into nothing. I have held them all. And now I return them in the way I promised in Joel. I will restore to you the years that were devoured. My restoration is never mere replacement. It is renewal, rebuilding, resurrection. What I return does not come back in its old form. It comes back better, deeper, and more deeply rooted. New relationships will arise with stronger trust. New opportunities will bring peace the old ones never could. New doors will open in ways that will make you say, Lord, I cannot believe this. I want you to understand that unveiling always comes with special protection. For when light appears, it attracts both what is good and what is not. Some will rejoice with you, and others will feel uneasy because you have entered a new season. Some will wish to walk with you, and others will try to climb over you. Some will celebrate your growth, and others will quietly search for your flaws. Do not be afraid of these things. I have prepared you. I have covered you with a kind of peace the world cannot understand. I am placing upon you a level of discernment you have never known before. I am surrounding you with ranks of angels as I once did for Elisha, so that those who look at your life hoping to see collapse will instead see my fire encircling you. You do not need to defend yourself. I am your defender. What I desire from you in this season of unveiling is very simple. Keep your heart tender. Keep your eyes fixed on me, not on applause and not on criticism. Keep your hands open, more ready to give than to hold back. Keep your soul quiet enough to hear me speak while you stand in the midst of many voices. Keep your humility, for that humility will become the very instrument I use to open even more doors. And remember, this true unveiling does not make you appear greater. It makes me more clearly seen through you. I love you because you belong to me. I chose you because you yielded. I use you because you were willing. And now, I will do what I promised. Step into this season of unveiling with a grateful heart, bright eyes, and steady feet. From here on, you will no longer live in the shadow of former seasons. You will walk in the light of the very destiny I have sealed over you. My beloved child, you are not only being unveiled, you are being anointed to step into a new position. Not a position given by people, but a position given by me. Not a crown from the earth, but authority from heaven. What you are entering is not fame, but identity. Not a stage, but a commission. Not the sound of clapping hands, but the sound of my voice calling you forward. The position I give does not rest on age, education, or background. It rests on a heart that has been refined. Those long years when you felt placed in spaces too small, overlooked, misunderstood, and passed by, none of that was to diminish you, but to teach you to stand firm in humility. I never let you slip from my hand. I was deepening you, because a sacred position cannot be placed upon a shallow foundation. It is time for you to stand up in the very identity I spoke over you from the beginning. You have lived too long under names that never belonged to you, names born of hurt, careless words, comparison, and temporary failure. Those names did more than scratch your heart, they choked your vision. But in this season, I erase every false name. I end every label that did not come from me. I remove every chain in your mind that made you doubt your own worth. Listen closely to my voice. You are anointed to carry light. You are chosen to stand firm in darkness. You are destined to become the answer in the very places where you were once wounded. The territories that once rejected you will become the places where I give you influence. The rooms that once dismissed your voice will be where I raise that voice as testimony. Those who kept you at the back will be astonished to see you step to the front, not by your strength, but by my hand. One of the clearest signs of this anointing is that your words will carry a new weight. Not the weight of aggression or self-assertion, but the weight of wisdom forged in trials. When you speak, listeners will feel truth touching the deepest parts of their soul. When you share your journey, others will see themselves in it. When you open your mouth to comfort, your words will bring a peace that is not from this world. It is not because you possess a special skill, but because my spirit is being poured out richly upon your voice. I am also expanding your sphere of influence, not by chasing after it, but by drawing it to you. Doors for which you have no keys will open before you. People you do not know will seek you out for guidance. Invitations you never expected will appear like quiet miracles, not because you crave recognition, but because I want your voice to be heard in the right places at the right time. But I must tell you this honestly and clearly. True influence from heaven always carries sacred responsibility. It is not an opportunity for you to shine for yourself. It is a charge to guard the purity of your soul so that you are not swept away by the praise of people. You must guard your heart against voices that want to use you for their own agendas. You must guard your heart against illusions of power that could distance you from me. You must keep your feet on the ground even as I lift your name higher. My beloved, I also want to prepare you for the subtle trials that come with unveiling. When your light goes forth, darkness will try to find a way in. But do not fear. I have equipped you. Your discernment will be a hedge. Your stillness will be a weapon. Your humility will be a shield. And my presence within you will be a fortress that cannot be breached. The most beautiful thing about this anointed season is that I am bringing you back to the original version of yourself that I designed. Not the version bent by shock. Not the version shrunk by fear. Not the version twisted by criticism. But the version that is strong, pure, and steadfast in me. That version has existed since the moment I breathed life into you. But it has been covered by the dust of life. Now I send a fresh wind to sweep away that dust so you can see yourself as I see you. When I anoint you, I also place within you a new language of the soul, a language of life, of hope, of vision. You will speak what I am doing before it appears to your eyes. You will declare what I intend before you step into it. You will call things that are not yet as though they already were not, because you are imagining fantasies, but because you are hearing my voice in the depths. Remember, anointing is not a sign that you have reached the end. It is a sign that it is time to step into a new assignment. Just as Moses was called from the burning bush, Jeremiah had his lips touched, Jonah was sent to Nineveh, and Paul's eyes were opened in blinding light, so you are being sent to places you never imagined you would stand. There will be words I place in your mouth that even you will be surprised to hear yourself say. There will be doors I lead you through that will make you ask, am I really the one chosen? And I will say, yes, my child, it is you. I have seen your compassion, so I place you where healing is needed. I have seen your perseverance, so I place you where strength is required. I have seen your obedience, so I place you where a guide is needed. I have seen your pain, so I place you where comfort is needed. I have seen your faithfulness, so I place you where blessing must be revealed openly. This is not only a change of season, this is a transfer of authority. You are no longer standing at the threshold, you are stepping into the room. You are no longer speaking into the void, you are speaking with authority. You are no longer living in questions. You are walking in conviction. You are no longer just waiting for miracles. You are becoming a vessel through which miracles flow. This is the time for you to stand upright, not in arrogance, but in the awareness that I am walking with you every step. When you open your mouth, I will put words in it. When you move your feet, I will open the way. When you lift someone else up, I will lift you higher. When you sow, I will multiply. When you offer, I will pour out. When you follow me, I will make visible what the world calls impossible. And I declare this as the final seal upon the anointing over you. You will not walk in your own strength. You will walk in my power. Beloved child, as you reach what feels like the end of this stretch of the journey, you are not standing before a period, but before the widest doorway I have prepared. The experiences you have walked through are not scattered fragments of a past life. They are stones I have placed precisely to lift your life into a new level, not an ending, but a launching pad into the most sacred chapter of your story. The days you moved from healing to maturity, from an enlarged heart to learning how to steward blessing, from unveiling to anointing, every one of them leads to this moment, where I declare to you that you are no longer merely a follower. You are one whom I myself am commissioning. I have sown into your heart many things that you yourself did not realize were quietly growing. Every tear you shed in solitude, every long night you lay your head upon worry, yet still held on to my promise. Every battle you had to fight alone, with a faith as small as fading embers, I have used all of it to form spiritual authority within you. No suffering has been meaningless, no loss has been wasted, and no brokenness has been left unused. I have gathered each one and turned it into the strength you will need for the mission ahead. You have learned to rise after falling, to love again after being wounded, to trust again after betrayal. And these very things have shaped you into someone who can carry the breath of healing to collapsing souls. You do not enter this new chapter with trembling or fear, but with the confidence that I go before you to clear the path. I walk beside you to steady your steps, and I stand behind you to shield your vulnerabilities. You are not alone in any transition. You will see me in meaningful conversations. Hear my gentle guidance when you stand at major crossroads, and feel my support when you make decisions you once lacked the courage to choose. I take your hand like a father guiding his child into an unfamiliar land, a land of responsibility, glory, and intimate companionship. Know this: the places I am leading you into are not meant to elevate you, but to make you an answer to wounds the world cannot heal on its own. People may believe that blessing is measured by status or admiration, but I want you to understand that true blessing is the surrender of yourself into my hands so that I may use you as an instrument to soothe wounded hearts, strengthen weary souls, and bring light into darkness. Your calling is not built on human recognition, but on absolute obedience to my voice. That obedience will become the doorway into influence that no force can overshadow. You will discover changes in yourself you never imagined. Words that once pierced you will no longer suffocate your heart. Challenges that once made you tremble will appear small when you recognize that I within you are greater than anything rising against you. You will no longer feel insignificant in large places, for you will know that I myself positioned you there. You will no longer need to prove anything. My presence within you will prove everything. In this new chapter, I will teach you how to keep your heart quiet amid countless voices. For the wider your sphere of influence becomes, the more sensitivity you will need to hear me clearly. There will be praise, criticism, suspicion, and jealousy. Yet in the midst of every sound, you will hear my voice more distinctly than ever. if you guard your soul in stillness and devotion. As long as your eyes remain fixed on me, you will never lose your way. And I affirm this with the power of the Almighty. No one can close the door I open. No force can strip away the mission I give. And no word spoken can overturn the decree I have sealed over your life. You do not enter this calling by human endorsement. You enter by the certification of heaven. Those lifted by the world can be brought down by the world. But those whom I establish will stand firm through every test. What I build, no one can destroy. What I inscribe, no one can erase. My beloved child, you are appointed to be a lamp on a high place, not to display perfection, but to shine hope for those lost in the night. You will become a living witness to those who believe they have been forgotten. You will carry my word to souls who no longer have strength to walk. You will become warmth to hearts frozen by the harshness of life. You will be the sign that I am still moving and rescuing. And the most wondrous part, you will not do any of this alone. I am in you. I walk with you. I go before you. I stand behind you. I cover you. I fight for you. And I work through you. This is a covenant that cannot be broken, a promise that cannot be shaken. Therefore, walk forward in peace, in steadiness, and in firm assurance. This is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning of a commissioned life, an influential life, a life lived beneath the open heavens I have prepared for you. You are ready, and I, the Almighty, have prepared every provision you need. Step into this new chapter as one who knows they are loved, chosen, anointed, and entrusted with authority. Thank you for listening to today's message. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we may continue receiving the living word together, building an unshakable faith, and walking in the boundless love of God. Amen.